RG3 causing a stir about Shedeur Sanders. I said RG3 is causing a stir about Shedeur Sanders and a Brown insider. The updates about the coaching search for the Cleveland Browns. We getting ready to talk about it right here on Sports Talk with B. Watts. Do me a favor. You got to do me a solid. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Hit that notification button. It'll let you know whenever I go live or drop a video. Also, if you'd like to continue to support the broadcast in any kind of way, hey, you can super chat and also join the membership. Join the membership. Anything that you do will be highly appreciated. All right, let's get this show started. Let's go. Got it on my mind. Yeah. I'm never confidential. Boy, that NBA young boy, he got to be the baddest young rapper out there. Robert Griffin III causing a stir about Shedeur Sanders. Robert Griffin III is causing a stir about Shedeur Sanders. Before I show you what Robert Griffin had to say about Shedeur Sanders, he also mentioned that you got to remember, Robert Griffin III has been an advocate for Shedeur Sanders during his time with the Cleveland Browns, criticizing the team for not giving the rookie quarterback a fair chance to compete for the starting quarterback position, even though the head coach at the time, Kevin Stefanski, said it would be a fair competition. Robert Griffin believes the Browns were potentially setting Shedeur up to fail. They should have traded one of the quarterbacks, him or Dillon Gabriel, to create a fair competition in an environment, a situation he felt was undermined by a coaching decision and favoring Dillon Gabriel. Robert Griffin also said these words right here. When Sanders played with better talent, like in the preseason game against the Carolina Panthers, he excelled, scoring touchdowns, showing his potential. The sabotage began at that second preseason game against the Los Angeles Rams. That's Robert Griffin III talking about the quarterback situation with the Cleveland Browns concerning Shedeur Sanders. Now, let's listen to what Robert Griffin had to say during a podcast that he was recording himself, talking about the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders. Robert Griffin III.
The Cleveland Browns have the worst head coaching vacancy in the NFL. By far. Maybe even in NFL history. For 3 reasons. 1, the quarterback situation is absolutely atrocious. Deshaun Watson's coming off yet another injury. You owe him $46 million, so what are you going to do with him? Dillon Gabriel was your higher draft pick this past season. You got him sitting on the bench behind Shedeur Sanders, who most of the team wants to be the starter. Number 2, it's one of the most historically dysfunctional franchises in the league. It's Kevin Stefanski wanted Deshaun Watson as his quarterback. Wanted him so bad that he was willing to get rid of Baker Mayfield, who is now the franchise quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And number 3, you're going to have to answer to a GM in Andrew Berry who's now put himself on the hot seat. The Cleveland Browns have only won 8 games in the last 2 years. It was clear this year that Andrew Berry wanted Shedeur Sanders and that Kevin Stefanski wanted Dillon Gabriel at quarterback. So now you come in as a head coach and you might as well go ahead and trade Dillon Gabriel to wherever Kevin Stefanski ends up. Then you got to make a decision on whether you believe in Shedeur Sanders as your starter or not. Because if you do, you build around him and you give him a full offseason to get better and develop. But if you don't, you got to go with Deshaun Watson. And you got to trade Shedeur Sanders as well. Because his gravitas in the locker room and the belief that he has built up in the city is too much for him to be a backup. If I was the next coach of the Cleveland Browns, I'd keep Shedeur Sanders and build around him. Trade away Dillon Gabriel and tell Deshaun Watson, see you later.
That's Robert Griffin III talking about Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns situation. Robert Griffin also went on to say over there on his page, it said the team might be using Shedeur Sanders for social media engagement rather than developing him as a quarterback to give him a real shot. And If you see how the team was moving during the season, he could be right until Dylan Gabriel got hurt. And they end up putting Shedeur in, and they rolled with him all the way. So Robert Griffin III had some good points there. And when I look at the whole situation now, after the season is over, especially when it comes down to media, because I'm not out there, I don't have no inside connection to the team. It seemed like the Cleveland media tried to pin the general manager, Andrew Berry, with Kevin Stefanski. They wanted to link them together because the Cleveland media saw how it was going. They knew this team wasn't that good. They know Dylan Gabriel that wasn't that good, but they tried to pin Dylan Gabriel against Shedeur, saying that he was better than Shedeur. When we were looking at it and we saw it, he wasn't. And it turned out he wasn't. So that's why the Cleveland media tried to link Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry together, because they knew that owner was going to fire Kevin Stefanski. And that's why they want to link them two together. So if you fire one, you need to fire the other one. But that ain't how the owner saw it. That ain't how I saw it either. I told y'all 6 months ago, Andrew Berry is a smart guy. He going to detour. He going to move away from Kevin Stefanski. That's why he traded Kenny Pickett. That's why he traded Joe Flacco. That's why he gave Shedeur Sanders an opportunity. And that's why he's saying some things that he's saying now about Shedeur Sanders. I'm telling you right now, because the word was out that Andrew Berry drafted and wanted Shedeur. When the Cleveland media see the same thing, and that's why they wanted him fired, because they don't want Shedeur. That's just the Cleveland media. The Cleveland fans want Shedeur. The Cleveland owner wants Shedeur. The Cleveland GM wants Shedeur. It's just the Cleveland media who don't want Shedeur. It's just a few of those. They just the loud ones. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say. So when you look at the situation at hand, they need a head coach. They need a head coach that can come in now, that can galvanize and bring young men together. You need a man to go in there, because they're going to have a young team. They got a young team because of this past draft with Shedeur Sanders, and they're getting ready to draft 10 more players out of this draft. So they're going to be some first and second year players on the team. So you got to have a leader among men to guide these young guys in a direction they need to go. You need to make them better. You don't need no first-time head coach. You ain't got time for no experiment. Neither does Andrew Berry, because it gonna get louder and louder if they start losing this upcoming season to fire Andrew Berry. So he got to be careful when he pick this next head coach. And I believe he gonna do right, because guess what? He don't have Kevin Stefanski in the room with him when this draft come up, and he don't have the other guy. What his name? Paul D. Podesta. He moved on to baseball. He don't have him in the room either. The owner done said Andrew Berry is the guy. And I believe Andrew Berry going to get this draft right for Shedeur Sanders. He going to get him an offensive line. He going to get him some wide receivers. And they going to cook. You can't expect Andrew Berry to do it all at one time. Oh, why has he been there 6 years? I get that. He missed the first 5 years. But you got to realize it wasn't his show by himself. He had a bunch of other people, the names that I just called, in the room with him, and they decided together. Now, it's his team. It's his team. He did a great job in the past draft. Now it's up to him to build off that. He told you in the interview, I'm going to build the defense this year, and next year, I'm going to build that offense. I got my quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. Now I'm finna go out there and sign some free agents. He needs some offensive line, some veterans offensive line. He don't need no rookies offensive line. He need to draft some rookies to help them along the way, to be some bag up just in case an injury come up. But he need to go out and find him some offensive line that got some experience, that done played in the league for a while, at least 3 or 4 years, to be on that offensive line. You ain't got time to be guessing or nothing like that. You need some offensive linemen know what they doing. know what they're doing. You definitely don't need no offensive line right there. He running, looked like he was running back there to sack Shedeur. And he on the same team with Shedeur. I'm just saying, family, it is what it is. But it's been reported. It's been reported that an interview today will be going down. The Cleveland Browns reported that Dan Pitcher, the offense coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals, will be doing an interview with Andrew Berry today. And also, it's been reported by Mary Kay Cadden that the Browns coaching search update. They said they are interested with Mike McDaniel, the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins. He used to be there back in 2014 as a quarterback coach or a wide receiver coach, some kind of coach. He was a member of the staff, I think. Yeah, 2014. So he got it. They gonna be interested in him. And they also, Mary Kay reported that John Harbaugh, the former head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, he is a native of the Cleveland, Ohio area, and they are interested to interview him also. So, hey, you tell me, out of the two coaches right there, put it in the chat. You prefer John Harbaugh, the former coach of the Baltimore Ravens, or Mike McDaniel, the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins? Put it down in the comment section. Let me know. You got to pick one of those two right there. Let me know down in the comment section. All right? All right. Once again, hey, that's the end of my show right now. I'll be back at the 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time with another video. And I got a live show tonight at 8 p.m. It's Friday. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I got a live show. I'm riding solo. Come on back and rock with me if you don't mind. Also, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. I'm on my way to 15,000 subscribers. Right now, I'm locked in at 14,000. I gained over 600 subscribers, as you see right there, this month. YouTube sent me that information, letting me know congratulations, told me to continue to do the good work that I'm doing. I'm headed to 15,000, and I can't get there without you. Subscribe to my channel, support my channel. Appreciate everything that you do for Sports Talk with B. Watts. Once again, thank you for watching Sports Talk with B. Watts. Until later on, peace.
Wizard.